Good morning. How's everyone doing? Okay.
Morning, Professor.
Morning.
Good morning. Whew, another week. We're in week 9 right now. So we've passed the halfway point for the semester. I know, crazy, right? Goes so fast. Have to start planning for the summer now. All right. Hopefully we can actually go do things this summer. I don't know. I'm hopeful. And good news is I got my vaccination. So excited, so happy about that. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I think it's really interesting on, in regular class, when in-person class, there's always people who straggle into the classroom late. But with Zoom, like everyone is like right on time or early. It's amazing. I wonder why that is. It's just easier. Okay. What we're going to do today is we're going to do an in-class exercise. It would be kind of like what we did last week, where you'll be following along in Adam and coding the same thing that I'm doing. And what we're going to learn how to do is create a multiple page website that's going to have 3 separate pages. So we'll learn how to link pages together, create links, hook them all up to the same style sheet, and actually put some images there. So we're going to learn how to deal with images. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me show you an example of what we're going to make a trivia quiz site. And it'll look something like this. I put a link to it in the assignments. So you'll have a page with the question and then at least 2 different answers. Humans use only about 10% of their brains. What do you think? Anyone know? Anyone heard this before?
False.
False. Yes. Yes, correct. So yeah, so this myth is, it's not really true, but maybe it's because we, at any one given time, we might be using 10%, but overall, we do use all of our brain. And so we're going to create this, and we're also going to put a back button to go back to the home page, and we'll have an incorrect page. And also this doesn't have an image, but we're going to go ahead and add an image to it as well. So go ahead and open up Adam. I think I have it open already. Close these pages. And we're going to go through the same steps that we did with the type specimen. So once Adam is open, and when you guys open it, there might be some, welcome tabs and other tabs. You can go ahead and close those tabs if they're getting in the way. So go ahead and create a new file. So file, new file. And the first thing we do, what do we do first? The very first thing we do is we need to save this file as an HTML file, because an HTML file is basically just text. We could also save this as like a .txt file. It would, it would have the same content, but we need to tell the browser that it's an HTML file, so it can deal with it properly. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and let's see, I'll put this in here. First thing you want to do, and you always want to do this, don't just save it to your desktop or something. Create a new folder. Always put any new project, create a folder for it. So I'm going to want you to go ahead and create a new folder and call it Trivia, all lowercase. Create. And then if you remember, the home page is always called index.html because that's the default. When the browser, when you send, you type a URL in, and the last thing on the URL is a folder, the browser is going to look for a file named index.html. If it doesn't find one, it's not going to show anything. So name it index.html and save it. So far, so good. Let me know if I'm going too fast. Okay, because I know you'll be going back and forth between Zoom and Adam. So yeah, please let me know if you need me to slow down, because you're probably not the only one that needs me to slow down. So don't be shy. So now that we've identified this as an HTML page, we need to put in the shell, the code that goes with every single HTML page. And if you remember, the shortcut here is exclamation point and then tab, and that gives us the shell. Again, if the shortcut's not working, you can go to the site called htmlshell.com, and you can copy and paste it right from here. So, but hopefully all your shortcuts are working. Okay, cool. So now remember we've got a head, an HTML page has a head and it has a body. And everything that goes on the page, all of the content goes inside between the body tags. So right here is where I'm going to start typing my HTML. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, and you want to do this for every page, is you want to have some sort of container that goes around the whole page. So that's the first step, is making some sort of container. Even, that might be your grid, it might not be your grid, it might be visible, it might not be visible, but you want to have that. So I'm going to say div container. Sometimes it's called a wrapper. Some people call it a wrapper. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. So I've got my container there. So now I'm going to go ahead and add an H1. Oh, take a moment. Let me give you a few minutes to come up with some sort of question. You're not going to use the question I put in there. You're going to come up with your own. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to go find one. Maybe you do an internet search and grab the question and yeah, you get it. So go ahead and do that. Go find some sort of trivia question you're going to use for yours. once you've gotten that, give me a thumbs up emoji so I know. Cool, cool.
Hey, Professor, you say you have to call it something? Like name the document, or can I
Yeah,
do it
you want
whilst
to
we're...
save it as index.html, all lowercase, and save it into a folder called trivia.
Alrighty.
Okay, looks like most of you have got something. Um, so let's start adding the HTML. First thing I want to do is change the title up here. I'm going to change it to trivia quiz. You can change it to whatever you want. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. And I'm going to open it up in the browser just so that I know that that it's working. So I'm going to open up index.html. And I know it's working because when there's trivia quiz right there in the tab. So remember the title tag that goes inside the head becomes the name of the document that goes into the tab, or if someone bookmarks the page, that's what it reads. So you want for your title, you always want to use a really specific title, like exactly what the page is about. So it's also good for search engines too. So the more specific you get, the more that page is going to be indexed, like by Google. So you'll go up in the search results if you're more specific. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste this here. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got my container. I'm going to add in each one and copy and paste that right there. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go back here and refresh. And there we go. So the page is definitely working. So I'll give you a second to do that.
Professor, can you go back to the HTML, please?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Do you need me to make this larger, the font size? I'll do that just in case. There we go. Okay, now take a look at what's going on up here in the file path up at the top. It's starting in my hard drive, and then it goes to a folder with my name, and then it goes to a folder called Dropbox, and then a folder called CSUF, and then a folder called courses, and then Spring 20 GD50. I've got some spaces in that's what the percentage sign and the 20 means, is that I've got some spaces in the name of that folder, and URLs don't like spaces, so it replaces it with that. And then I've got a folder called trivia, and then I've got a file called index.html. So that is the file path to the HTML file that I'm working on right now. So same thing goes for up here. This is the file path this is on the server. This one is on my own local computer. So, so pay attention to that file path because that's going to be important. So now these two things are clickable because they're link tags. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on one and notice up here in the URL that changes to a page called incorrect.html. So we're opening up a new HTML page, which we're going to create. And then the false one opens one up called correct.html. So those are the 3 pages we're going to be creating. So first thing we need to do is create links to those pages. We haven't created the pages yet, but we're going to put links on there because they'll link eventually. So, and the way you do a link, it's an A tag. A stands for anchor. So go ahead and use the shortcut or type this out. And the A tag has an attribute in it. Remember, an attribute is anything that goes inside of the A tag. It usually has an equals and quotes after it. So the href attribute stands for hypertext reference. And what we do is we type in the file path to the correct or incorrect file that to whatever file we want to link it to. So in this case, we're going to put those files directly in the folder where the index page is, so we don't have to do any slashes or anything like that because they're in the same folder. So this first one's going to go to incorrect. You type, you know, whatever is appropriate for your questions. It might be correct, it might be incorrect. And so it's going to link to a file called incorrect.html. And in between the opening and closing A tags is where you put the thing that's actually clickable. So in this case, it's going to be text, but you could wrap an A tag around an image too. You could have an image be clickable, or maybe an entire div. So in here, I'm going to say true. That's my first answer. I'm going to save this and go take a look at it in the browser. So there, I've got it's a link, and these styles are, you know, the ugly blue with underline and purple once you click on it. But I'm going to add styles later and change that so it looks like a button. So go ahead and do that. And then we're going to do the same thing for the second answer. So I'm going to say A, and this one's going to be called correct.html. And in between the A tags, I'm going to write false. But you write whatever you want. So
can we have more than 2 answers?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll give you a minute to catch up with that. And then go check your page in the browser and see, you'll see those two. But I won't click to anywhere yet because we haven't created those pages, but at least we know that the links are working. Okay. So now let's go ahead and create those other pages. So you're gonna, again, go File, New File. And then the first thing we do is Save As. And we're gonna put this in the same folder. And this one you're gonna name, let's do the correct page first. So correct, all lowercase, correct.html. And so the next thing is we want to create that shell again. So exclamation point tab. And I'm going to change the title. And then inside of the body tag, you can go ahead and put, the answer to the correct, the correct answer. Remember, it all goes inside the body tag. And then save that, go back to your folder, and now open up the correct page. You know what, go ahead and instead of opening it up, let's check the link that we created to the correct answer. So I'm going to go back to my trivia page. I got to refresh. No, wait, I guess you don't have to refresh. And I'm going to click on the correct answer. And your answer, that page will show up if you've typed in everything correctly. And everything, it has to be exactly what on your link, it has to be exactly the name of the page that you saved. And then the next thing we need to do is we need to create the back button to go back to the index page. So I'm going to put another A tag here. And we're going to be going back to the index page. So we need to link to the index page. So I'm going to type index.html. And then I need to put something in here, so something has to be clickable. So I'm going to put the word back. I'm going to save that. Go over and reload the index, no, reload, sorry, reload the correct .html page. And there I've got my back button and it goes back. So we've just created our first linked page and it goes back and forth like that. Do you need some time to catch up?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I'll put the code back up. So go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you've gotten to this point. Cool. So if you've got this one done, you can go ahead and go through the same steps to make the incorrect page, name it incorrect.html. And so the same steps, file new, save as to the folder, name it, and then, you know, add the shell and add the HTML. I'm going to go ahead and do that myself here. New file, save as, incorrect. And don't forget to add that back button. Ooh, I did something wrong here. Oh, I saved my file to the wrong folder. That's what I did wrong. See, most of the time when something's not working, it's a file path issue. So that file path is not going to work because it's not in that folder. So now I'm going to save, go back here, reload, and there we go. Hey, where's my back button? Oh, I never typed the word back in there. Okay, cool. We need some more time to get both of those pages going.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you've gotten to this point. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay, so if you've finished that, now we're gonna add an image. So go ahead and do a Google search for an image, or if you have an image already on your computer, you can do that. So yeah, go ahead and do a Google search, find an image you like, and you'll want to the way I do it. Let me see, let me I'm gonna search for an image of a brain. So what I do is once I've selected the image, I right click and go to open image in new tab. And once you have it in a tab, go ahead and save that image. So you can just go file. Wait, where's file save? There's no save. Oh, save page. You don't want save page as. I just do a Command S. And I'm going to name this image. Oh, let me back up a second before I save it. Well, I'll give you a little bit more time to find an image and get to this point of opening it up in a new tab. Okay. Even if you haven't found your image yet, pay attention to what I'm doing because this is really important. What we're going to do is, and this is really common websites, is that you have a separate folder for all of your images. So I am going to hit new folder. And I'm going to name, what'd you say?
Do you want us to make it inside the trivia folder?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Because that's my project folder. So I want everything to go in there. Good question. I'm going to name mine IMGS. That's, you could also just type the whole word images. I always name it IMGS. So I would just say, whatever you name your image folder, use that, be consistent with that and use the same folder name every time so you don't get confused, like, did I use images or IMGS? Or so just pick what you want to name it and then, you know, be consistent over time. So just IMGS, because it's just a folder name. You create that. And then inside of that, you're going to want to save your photo. I'm going to change the name of this one to brain.jpg. So in your folder, it should look something like this. You've got three HTML pages, and then a folder, and then inside the folder is an image. So you should have a file structure like this. If you're stuck with anything, let me know, because I'm trying to go slow because I want everyone to be on the same page. So let me know if you're stuck or if you need more time. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you've gotten to here. Great, cool. I think that's most of you. You know, don't worry if you're a little bit behind. You can always go back and watch this video once I post it, a recording of it. Okay, so I've saved. Okay, so now what we need to do is add that image to our page. I'm going to add it to my index page. You can have, if you want images on your other page, just, save more images. It's all the same. So I'm going to close these windows. I don't need them. And I'm going to put my image on the index page. And I'm going to put it below the links. And so the tag for images is just IMG. And it's going to say SRC there stands for source. And this is sort of the same thing as href on the link tag. So you're going to, in here, you're going to type the file path so that the browser knows where to find that file. And since we saved it into a folder, we need to reference that folder, because if we just type the file name, if I just say brain.jpg, the browser is going to look for a file called brain.jpg inside of the trivia file. And we can see here that inside the trivia file, there is not a file called brain. The file, it's inside the images file. So we need to tell the browser to go inside the images folder and then look for the image. So I'm going to type IMGS or images and put a space. So we're telling it, okay, look for a folder called images. And then inside of that folder, that's what the slash is for, look for a file called whatever your file name is, brain.jpg. And there's another attribute here called alt. And you're not going to see this necessarily, but it's an important thing to do. So alt stands for alternate. So it's basically alternate text. So you want to type in there something that describes the image. So I'm going to type illustration of brain. And what this is for is this adds to the accessibility of the page. And accessibility means we want our page to be accessible to everyone, even if they have some sort of, handicap, maybe they, especially if they're visually impaired and they're using a screen reader to go through the page. So when it hits the image, it'll read a description of that image. It also functions as sometimes if you roll over the image, then some text comes up, or if the link is broken, it'll give you the name of the image. So you know what's going on there. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to save. Go back to my page, refresh, and there, my image is showing up. So remember, your file path needs to be exact. The name of the folder needs to be exact. The name of the file needs to be exact. Okay, thumbs up if you've got that done.
Professor,
Yeah,
the images are not loading. I get like this little square thing right next to the text I put down in the alt.
right. So that means there's a file path problem there. So maybe you didn't put the name in the folder, or you got the name wrong, or the name of the file is wrong, or you're missing a slash or something like that.
Oh, I think I figured it out, Professor. I forgot to put JPEG, .jpeg at the end of every.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's important. Or if it's a ping and you put JPEG, it won't show up. Okay, good. So notice here, there's something interesting going on. True and false and the image are all basically on the same line. That's because all of them are inline elements, so they don't cause a line break. So the A tag is an inline element. The images are inline elements as well. So when we add some styles, we're going to fix that. Okay. Okay, so let's do that. Let's start styling this. We want to make the links look like buttons. I want to put a line break between the image and the buttons. So we need a style sheet. So we're going to add one more file to our project folder. And like we did last week, all the styles are in a separate file. So we're going to say File, New File. And the very first thing we do is save it, Save As, and go to your project folder. And directly in the folder, don't put it in the images folder. We're going to put it directly in the main folder. And you're going to name it styles, or you can name it style sheet, whatever you want, styles.css. I always name it styles. I keep consistent so I don't make any mistakes, but you can name it whatever you want. I suggest picking a name and sticking with it with all your projects. So styles.css. And now I can start styling my page. I can start writing my styles. And you don't need any kind of shell for your style sheet. You can just start writing your CSS. So let's see, the first thing I want to do, I'm going to make my H1s. I'm going to make them sans serif. So I'm gonna add a style. And then I'm gonna say font, family, sans serif. And now I'm gonna save this file. I'm gonna go back and look at this page, reload, and notice this, the style has not been applied. Do you remember what we have to do to get that to work? There's one thing that's missing on the index.html page. We haven't linked to the style sheet yet. So the browser doesn't even know we want to use a style sheet. We need to add a link tag to make that happen. So the shortcut is the word link and tab. And you'll have an attribute that says rel. I'm not sure what rel stands for. But it'll say style sheet. And then inside the href, just like inside the a tag, we're going to put the file path to that, the style sheet. So I need to type it exactly as I saved it. So I'm going to put styles.css. If I had this in a folder, sometimes I put my CSS stuff inside a folder called CSS. I would have to write CSS/styles, but since they're in the same folder, all I have to do is type the name of the file. So create your link tag and then save it. And now I'm going to go back and check, reload, and yes, now I have those. So I always recommend once you've created the style sheet and linked it, just change one little thing and check and see if they're linked up, because that's a common error. I do it all the time. Like I forget to link the styles, or maybe I put them in a different folder and I didn't, reference that. So I always make one little change and check it instead of writing out a ton of styles and then it doesn't work, and then I freak out, and then I realize, oh, okay, I did that wrong. So go ahead and change something, save it, and refresh in the browser. And what we're going to want to do is I want all of these pages to link to the same style sheet. So if I style an H1, this H1 is going to be the same on all the pages. So go ahead and do that. You can just copy and paste the link tag into the head of correct and incorrect files, and then check that in the browser, save and check it in the browser. So I'm going to do that right now. And I'll know that it's correctly working when I check all these pages and all the style has been applied to all of them. And check your back button too to make sure that's working. So this is the power of CSS. You can create one style sheet and apply it to as many pages as you want, so you have consistency throughout your site. All of the body copy is the same font, and the headers are the same, and maybe how you style the images is the same. I mean, sometimes you create a separate style sheet for maybe a different page or different section. But you really want to hook them up to the same style sheet so that you don't have to repeat stuff over and over again. So again, thumbs up if you finished that part. Oh, you guys are doing great. Again, don't worry if you're still working on it. You can always go back and finish it later. We'll be turning this in on Canvas, but I'll be giving, you don't have to turn it in at the end of class. I think I made it due like tomorrow or Thursday or something like that. Paulina, you had a question?
Yes, I have my style sheet, but it's not linking to any of the pages.
Okay, so that's going to be a file path issue. So double check that you've got the link tag in there and it's written out like this, and make sure that you've referencing the exact name of the file and that file is in the same folder. So check the name of the file. That's often the issue. So maybe one is styles and then you've typed style or something like that. That's most likely going to be the issue.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're done with that, let's go ahead and start styling this. So what I'd like you to do is make it look, oh, let me go over how to get these elements here to act like block elements. So right now they're inline elements. We really want them to kind of behave like block elements. So I'm going to go ahead and style the image. And I don't necessarily have to make a class for it because I only have one image. But if I had more than one, I wanted them to be different, I'd have to create classes. But I didn't, so I'm just going to use image. Oops. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to take it and I'm going to change it into a block element. And you do this by typing display block. Display block, and that turns it into a block element. So it's no longer an inline element. I'm going to save, go back and check this. And there we go. Now there, it's on a different line.
Can you show that again, Professor, the code?
Display block. And once you've got that, what'd you say?
Where you at?
Paulina, did you get your styles working?
Where you at?
I'm in the fucking restroom, but like, what the fuck?
Someone's not on mute. We can hear your conversation. Okay, so go ahead and start adding some other styles.
Camera?
And, you know, maybe take the container. I'm gonna add a border around it. So I have a class called container.
Oh,
I'm gonna go and add. I'm going to constrain the width so it doesn't go all the way across the page. I'm going to say max width, and I'll make it like
I don't know if I have a
700
break today.
pixels,
did my
something
mom
like
pay you
that.
already?
I don't think so.
Hey, Paulina, you're not on mute, so we can hear whatever conversation you're having. So I'm gonna save that. Go back and check it. No, it's not working. Oh, I didn't add the border yet.
Okay, fix it.
Okay.
Are you in this? Is this your main
In this
class?
case,
What do you mean?
my image is larger than the border.
I'm in class,
So
but
if you want, you can change the width
I don't know
What's
what.
that? That's what you did.
of your image.
No, my phone was on the other side of the bed.
Oh,
I'm gonna make the image
when are your breaks and we
width 400 pixels. Actually, I'm gonna do max width. So in case the browser window gets smaller, it'll shrink. Save that. There. I'm gonna add some padding to the container so it's not up against the side. There we go, that's better. So go ahead and start styling this. What I'm gonna do here, notice that your other pages are getting the same styles. So I have like a subhead here. So that I want to style as well. Start, use some different fonts. I want this to be larger. So what I have to do is go and add a class to it because it's a P tag and I don't want all of my P tags to be larger. So I'm going to make a class for that one and I'm going to style that. This child's not being changed. What's going on here? Oh, I'm on the wrong page. There we go. Oh, I forgot to do something. I totally forgot to do something. I didn't add a container around the correct .html and the incorrect .html. After I told you how important it is, I totally forgot to do it. So I'm gonna wrap this in a container. So yeah, make sure you do that. Make sure you add some styles to the A tag to make them look like buttons. There we go. Now I have a container around both of those. Great. So I need to add the class over on the other page. And on my example here, I colored the word incorrect and correct blue and red. So I want to go ahead and add some styles to those so that I can style them separately. So class. So now I want to make my buttons look like buttons. So I can just style, we don't have to create a class because it's just the A tag. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give background color. And give it some padding. I'm noticing that my buttons are stuck on top of the image, but they're touching the image. I don't want that. I want some space. So I'm going to go ahead and add some margin to the top of the image. And The other thing I want to do here is I want to get rid of the underline on the word true and on the link. And the way you do that, I'm going to add it to my A tag styles, is something called text decoration, and then none. And that will get rid of the line underneath. So I'd like you to go ahead and do that. There we go. That's better.
Can you slow down a little bit?
Sure, yeah. I'm just styling. You can style at your own pace too. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing.
Professor,
Yeah.
how do I make the text white in the buttons?
It's just the property is just called color.
Oh, okay. I thought you. All right, never mind.
I know it's kind of confusing. It would make more sense for it to be font dash color, but for some reason it's just called color. Yeah, that's a common issue. So I'm going to point out something else. I'm having an issue with my buttons. So you can see here that my back button is kind of on top of the text and the container. And that's because it's an inline element. And so we can't adjust the margins on an inline. You can add padding, but remember inline elements, you know, don't like to be bossed around. They just want to be in line with everything and just take up as much space as the content in them. But I want to be able to control it as if it were a block element. So I'm going to do something, a nice little trick here is, you know how we change the image to a block element by saying display block? There's also a property, a property value called inline block. And it changes it to a block element, but they will line up next to each other. So play inline dash block. And that should give me more control over it and I can add margins. Okay, so there we go. So it kind of created some margins for me automatically. And now my back button is it's got some margin around it. It's not butting up against anything.
Hey, Professor. Professor.
Yes.
For some reason, my incorrect and correct tags aren't changing colors to green and red.
Oh, did you add a class to them?
Yeah, I have the class tags on them on both HTMLs, and I even changed the styles on the CSS page, but nothing's changing.
Have you linked on those page? Have you added the link tag that's links it to the style sheet?
On the HTMLs?
Yeah, you need this link tag here that links it to the style sheet. You need that on all of the pages.
Yeah, I have them on them.
You do. Okay, so it's not changing color. Double check and make sure. Are any of your styles working?
Some of them are. I think it's like it's kind of delayed for some reason. Like, yeah, some of the styles are working for me.
Okay, so we know we're linked up. So double check the name of the class, make sure you spelled it right. And then also make sure the property for that is called color. It's not font color, it's just color. So that's a common mistake.
Professor,
Yeah,
I still can't get my style sheet to link. Can I see how you have them set up on your Finder?
yeah, sure. Oh, in the Finder, sure. Let me go back to. So I've got these 4 files here inside of the main project folder.
Mhm.
And then I've got an images folder with the image file in it. Does yours look like this?
Yes, I have it like that. And when I have my style sheet open in Atom, it does say style.css, but when it's on the folder, it just says styles.
Oh, maybe you didn't add this .css when you saved it.
Okay.
Try doing another save as and make sure it says .css.
Okay.
And let me know if that worked.
No, it didn't.
Okay, let me I'm gonna have you share your screen so I can take a look at it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I haven't been looking at the chat. It went away. Hopefully you figured out those questions. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna make you co-host. Okay, you can go ahead and share your screen now.
So at first I thought it was how I was. At first I put style sheet the way you did. And then
Oh,
I realized that that was not my name or like the name of my folder. So I changed it to trivia and it's still not reading it.
it needs to have the word style sheet in it. Because that's just a reference to, it doesn't have to do with the name or anything like that. It just needs to have that word in there so that it knows it's a style sheet basically. So it always has to be like that. So that's probably what's doing it.
And that's the way I have it saved.
Okay, so try it again. So save that page and then take a look. There we go. Yeah, that was it. Okay. So you can go ahead. Yo, go ahead.
Professor, I'm having a problem with like one of the images. I'm trying to make some spacing between I'm on the front page and I'm trying to get my two buttons to have a little space between the two buttons in the image, but whenever I do, it causes like the buttons to like move to the bottom left of the image. And
Hmm.
it moves the buttons to the side, to the left of the image, and they move down to like the bottom. How do I make that?
Yeah, because they're behaving like inline elements. Did you, if you haven't already, go ahead and change them to inline block elements? Have you done that?
Yes, I have.
And they're still behaving like inline elements. Let's see. What else could be wrong? That's strange. You can try changing the image to a block element.
And I already have that too.
Okay. Another thing you could do is you can force a line break. After the images, the code for that is it's a BR tag for break. And you don't need a closing tag for that because there's nothing inside of it. So you can try that, putting that between the image and the buttons and see what happens.
Nothing happened, Professor.
Okay. Let's share screen so I can take a look at it.
I can't actually do that right now because I'm using Zoom on my laptop and I'm doing everything on Atom on my PC actually.
Oh, okay.
I could just probably email you my code or something.
Yeah, you could do that. I would say take the whole folder
Yeah.
and email me all the file. You can leave it in the folder and compress it. So it's a zip file.
All right.
And then send it to me and I'll take a look at it.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
So what we're gonna do next, and you can keep on working on this if you're done, when you're done, we're gonna put these on the server. So you're gonna connect through FileZilla, go back and find your password and take that whole folder and save it inside of your GD50 folder. And that's what we'll be doing with all of these projects. So go ahead and connect to the server. And once you've done that, you can open it up in the browser And then that's the URL you'll submit on Canvas. But like I said, you don't have to, if you want to work on this a little bit more, you can do that. I didn't make it due until, I can't remember, tomorrow or Wednesday, something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just let you do that. Maybe finish it up after class, because I want to go over some other stuff that we've got going on now. So take a break from that, and of course, like if you have trouble with it later, let me know, and I can help you out. So I'm going to go to Canvas real fast so I can show you. You have a, this is an in-class assignment, so you probably finished most of it. I have another assignment for you, and it has to deal with images. So, there's always questions with images, like what size should they be? What file format should they be? And so what I have for you are, there's 2 videos that I'd like you to watch. They're about file formats and how to sort of optimize your images in Photoshop so that they're compressed, and you don't want really large images. You want them to be as small as possible, but you don't want to sacrifice quality. So these 2 videos go over file formats and how to optimize images for the web. So watch those 2 videos. And then I have right here, I did a screencast, a video walking you through. You're going to create like a little mini image gallery. So I have a video that's going to like literally walk you through the whole thing. I go through all the steps to create this page. So it's just going to be a page that displays 3 photos, and it has a header and a headline. And that's the assignment basically. And then what you're going to do is there's instructions on here. Make sure you name the page index.html, put it in a folder called image gallery, place your images inside of an images folder, and then you're going to upload it to the server inside your GD50 directory. And then that's the URL that you'll paste into Canvas to submit it. So does anyone have any questions on, once you've uploaded your page once you've uploaded this trivia thing to through FileZilla to the server, you might be wondering, how do I go and view the file now that it's on the server? And that's about typing in the correct URL, which is basically a file path. And yours would be something like it's kind of the same as we did before with the type specimen. It's the server. The domain name is students.fsartanddesign, and then it's going to have your name / your name or your username, and then /GD50, because inside of your username is your root folder. And inside of that, you've got a GD50 blog. And then inside of that, you're going to have the folder called trivia. And there we go. This is from another student from another semester. So your URL will look something like this, except with your username in it. So any questions about all of this? The project, the assignments, or anything like that? Okay. And I just want to talk about briefly, last thing today is what our next project is going to be. And what you're going to be doing is creating something I call a fan site. You're basically, you don't have to, it's an informational website. So you're going to choose a topic of your choice, and it's going to be a website about that. It's called a fan site, but it doesn't have to be like you're a fan of some boy band or something like that. It doesn't have to be about music or entertainment. It can be anything at all. So like I had one student do the history of, I think, the pen, different types of pens through history. So it can be anything you want, something interesting to you that you want to go into detail about. And it'll be a 3-page website, like you, wait, is it 3 pages? Yeah, 3 pages. So kind of like what we did today, 3 pages linked together. You'll be doing it in Atom, because we have to use images and stuff like that. So just start thinking about what you want, what topic you want to your site to be about. Just start thinking about that, and you're welcome to use copy, take copy from another source. I don't expect you to write everything about it. Just you're designing it, and that's kind of realistic, because if somebody hired you to do a website, they wouldn't expect you to do all the content as well. They're going to give you content to put in there. So so it makes sense that you would do that. So maybe like Wikipedia or something like that, you take the copy from. So yeah, so that's the next project we'll be doing next week. You'll be working on mock-ups for that, and then we'll start coding it. Any questions?
So for that assignment and for this image gallery assignment, are we allowed to just use like images we find on Google, like copywritten images?
Yeah, it's just a class project, so you can use anything.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they can be about, whatever you want them to be. And you'll be going into Photoshop and resizing them and compressing them. You don't want them to be teeny tiny images. You want them to be at least, I think the images in the end are going to be like 300 pixels square. So you want an image that's at least larger than that. So if you're welcome to go now. If you, I'll hang around for a little bit longer if you're having any problems with the trivia site. But that's all I have for you today. So hopefully this we made, it was a little bit review of what we did with the type specimen, but it's good to do these things over and over again. So hopefully it made it more clear about how you set up your files and link them. And so I hope this was helpful. So if you're leaving, see you later. Adios. We'll see you on Tuesday. Anna, you had a question?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you could go over what to do once we've signed into FileZilla again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So let's see. So let me see here. Give me 1 second. I need to log in as somebody.
If you want, you can log into mine because I did it, but when I pull up the URL, it doesn't show my trivia.
Oh, okay. So you have uploaded it, but you just can't find it on this, through the browser?
Yeah, it takes me to a different page that says like related links, training courses, design courses, college business.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go into your folder here. And you are Anna S, right?
Yes.
Oh, you need to put your trivia folder inside of the GD50 folder.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, and let's double check it through the browser and make sure.
Professor,
Uh-huh.
I just thought I'd let you know I was able to fix that problem of like the spacing between the image and the buttons. I fixed it.
Oh, good. Okay, great. What was it?
I have no idea.
Okay. At least
I
it's
just sort of fiddled around with the size of the image. I actually went ahead and just fixed the width and the height and the margin of the image itself, and that seemed to have fixed it. I don't know
okay.
how. I turned off display, the inline block for the display, and
Yeah.
I guess that did actually have an effect because I did see like the image like move closer inside the button. So I guess maybe the button was just too big or something. I don't
Huh.
know. It's
I
like,
don't know.
yeah, maybe it just has something to do with the image that I used.
But once you turn it into a block, it adds some margin. I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
Professor,
Yeah.
I'm still not able to log into the server. I texted you last week and you said you were going to email me a new account, but I never got it.
What did I say? I was going to email you. I think, did I ask you to email me the files?
No.
Let's see. I forget what we were doing. What was the problem you were still having?
I can't log into the server, so I haven't turned in my font type or
Okay.
yeah, my type assignment.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
You're welcome. I'm going to.
Professor, just
Mhm.
how do I get I can't seem to get the border to work around the like the box, the border box to work. Can I see what code you put in for the container?
Yeah. Containers right here. So I added padding, I added the border of 1 pixel solid and black.
Solid black. It's not showing up for me, Professor.
Did you add the, oh, you added the class though, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Div class equals container.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. Maybe you can go back to the index. Maybe I can have a look-see there.
Uh-huh. This is the container right here. Make sure you spelled it right.
Container. Yeah, it looks right.
Mhm.
Any other ideas?
Can you hang out for a bit? I'm gonna help Paulina log.
I also have a couple questions, so I think I'll take longer than he will. So I don't know if you want to help him first or.
Oh, okay. Let me have you share screen, Robert.
I told you, Professor. I don't have.
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's right. Then I don't know.
I'll probably just email it to you or send it to you.
Yeah, that would be fine.
All right, but
Okay.
other than that, that's probably the only problem that I have left is just getting the border around my thing. All you just need to do then is just do the styles for the text, and then I think I'll be good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll email you as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And help me figure out what the problem is. All right, but I'm gonna go now. Thank you, Professor.
No problem.
All right, bye. Have a great week. Okay.
Bye, you too.
Yeah.
Paulina, are you using the username? You have a C at the end of Paulina. Are you
Yeah.
using that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let me go I'm gonna try and log in as you. So let's see, so down here, which is yours? Which is your ID number?
Last 3 digits are 081.
Last 3, 081. Wait, where are you? Oh, wait, 081? I don't see you. Do you see it?
Nothing.
Do you see it on here?
You're not sharing your screen anymore.
Oh, thank you. There you go. Am I in the right class? Let me see. Oh, this is the Tuesday class. Zero 81 right there. Okay. Okay, so it's not letting me log in either. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just create a different account, and hopefully that fixes it here. did I do this already for you? Create a separate account?
No, I texted you on the remind, and then you texted me back saying you were gonna email me that information.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I guess I didn't. I wonder if I've already done that. I don't remember. Okay, let's see here. Your B9. What happened? Oh, so I did change yours, but I never sent it to you. Okay. So let me type this into the chat. Try that password right there.
No, it's still getting an authentication fail. Professor? It didn't work, Professor.
Okay, let me try this password. Let's see, did I type it in correctly? 7QD C3. Oh, okay. I typed it wrong. It's not supposed to say egg, it's just supposed to be 3. Okay, let's try this one.
Okay, I was able to connect.
Okay, great. So put that in a safe place because I'm not going to be able to change it on Canvas. So save that somewhere. And let's make sure I have it saved.
Where am I creating the GD50 folder?
Right inside of your root folder, the one that's called just a slash, it should be one that
Oh.
opens up automatically. So just right click inside of there And
Nothing happens when I click it.
did you right click?
Okay. Create directory.
Yeah, create directory and name it GD50, uppercase, no space.
It has a question mark on it. Okay, never mind. I got it, Professor. Thank you.
Okay, great. So right into there, just drag the whole file for type specimen and then the whole file for the trivia project folder
Okay.
right inside of GD50. Okay, cool. I'm glad we got that sorted out.
Yeah. Can you look at my style sheets because some of the styles are not being picked up. I don't know if I typed in something wrong.
Sure. Can you share screen? Did I
Yeah.
already do that? Okay. So some of them are working and some of them are not.
Mm-hmm.
So I see at the top, the border, you have a comma after 1 pixel. It should just be a space. Was that one of them?
Yeah.
And then the border down here with the A tag, you need to put solid and the whatever color, and then a semicolon. Space, not a hyphen, just a space. Okay, now try that.
Okay. And I guess I just need to fix the image because it's too big.
Yeah, so you can go into the image and, oh, you misspelled width. It has a D after the I. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Is that all of it?
Yes, I'll keep working on this and submit it, Professor.
Okay, great. Good.
How did you say to remove the underline on the text for the buttons?
The property is text dash decoration. So you'd put that on the styles for the A tag. Text dash decoration. And then none. Just type in none. There you go.
Awesome. Thank
Cool.
you, Professor.
Yeah, no problem. See you Tuesday.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.